Okay, so welcome everybody to our circle. We are going to be doing some cellular transformation at a cellular level. I guess that always kind of happens because our DNA is affected by this work just as much as our beliefs. But we're going to be doing another breathing pranayama, and we'll use that for our grounding and centering. And then I've got a timely statement for the world today. We've crossed through just energetically, and then also if you look in the cosmos, we've crossed over some, I guess, markers is one way to put it, in the timepiece that is the universe. And energetically, humanity has also done a good enough job lifting our vibration so that we can make it permanently through the Lion's Gate on August 8th. For many years, it hasn't been forever, but on August 8th, in recent memory, every time we come around on our spiral of evolution, right? The Earth is rotating, but we're always kind of making our way up the spiral of evolution. And at a certain point, we came in alignment, in range with the Lion's Gate. And so every year on August 8/8, we have an opportunity to cross over through the Lion's Gate. And a lot of times we, as we have intentionally done that, it's like an up-leveling, but then we can also kind of lower our vibration and, not permanently experience the positive effects of going through the Lion's Gate. So this year, the collective was able to go through that original Lion's Gate permanently so that now we're at a different level. And so we'll still come through to a Lion's Gate on 8/8, but it's the new Earth version, the crystalline version. So we're moving from a carbon-based atomic structure, cellular structure, to crystalline-based. So crystalline silica and oxygen will become our primary building blocks as we move through this evolutionary process. So that's just a little bit of background of kind of where we are right now. And because of that, the voice of God, the divine wisdom, whatever you want to call that still small voice that we all have had and sometimes had trouble hearing, trouble paying attention to, that is now has transformed. We're able to hear it better, more loudly. And it's also transforming into that inner knowing. So, we might hear our guidance in an auditory way, but we're going to be able to, all of us humans now are able to sense that inner knowing, that inner wisdom. And it's going to be harder to act against that, right? It's going to be harder to act from our ego. It's going to be more uncomfortable to act from our ego, from that lower vibrational place. Because we are transforming at every level, from physical and the most dense physicality all the way in every dimension that we're experiencing. So our statement today is going to be about paying attention to those insights and that inner knowing that is coming through more strongly, that is more undeniable. And we're not going to be able to ignore it like we used to be able to do. So that's what we're doing our statement on today. Unless something changes, but so far we're muscle testing that is strong. And I see Brandy. Yes, ma'am.
About what you were saying, yes. Would it then make sense that if you're supposed to be doing something and for some reason you're not, because it feels safer to continue doing what you've always done, would it then make sense that it's going to become harder to continue doing what you've always done?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like that's happening.
And we've been seeing that happening. My husband and I always have to have these moments because he's very stuck in the old paradigm of, business and, believing what the banks say and, all of that kind of stuff. And so I always have to remind him, like, the old ways are not going to work as we move through this transition, as we, and we have made a lot of milestones along the way, to the new earth. And so every time we cross a new milestone, it gets harder and harder and harder to operate under the old paradigm. Absolutely. And so, 8-8 was just another kind of milestone that's going to make it even more difficult. And especially with that inner knowing, because a lot of times I think we can block that out. A lot of humans are able to block that out pretty well. And it's not going to be possible anymore. So the discomfort will be more pronounced, when you're trying to do things the old way. And it does feel like spinning your wheels, right? It just feels like, why can't we accomplish this? And it's because we have to use the new paradigm ways of doing things. So yes, unfortunately, fortunately, it's becoming harder for all of us, even those that are still asleep, even those that don't understand that we're going through these transitions. So that's one of the purposes of the way showers, the light workers, those who have been working in these realms for years, is that all of these confused people who don't understand why the old ways aren't working anymore, usually are asking questions. And so we're here to answer those questions. If they want to hear the answer, if they don't, fine, keep doing it the old way, good luck with all that. But, for those that are asking questions and they're beginning to, wonder, why can't, I accomplish things in the same way that I used to. Yep. It's time to shift to the new blueprint and to the new paradigm. So we'll just go ahead and move into our grounding and centering pranayama. And for anybody that's new, prana is a word for the life force energy that they use in Sanskrit. We call it chi in China, and acupuncture and the ancient traditions there is called chi. We just call it the life force energy, divine light, whatever you like to call it. But when we use pranayama, one of the reasons that it's such a powerful exercise is because you are consciously directing the life force energy that is carried on the breath. So today we're going to do an exercise, and this is when I talk about, transformation on a cellular level. If anybody's ever been to respiratory therapy, you'll notice that a lot of the exercises they use they just took it from yoga. It's a 5,000-year-old tradition that is not just healing for, our spirit and our energy, but it's healing at the cellular level, and it's an exercise for your respiratory system. So I don't think it's an accident that I've been inspired to do more pranayama and in circle, because the heart space and the lung space is kind of under attack, right? Not just with the virus, in a lot of different ways, kind of energetically. So we're going to physically be exercising the respiratory system and strengthening our respiratory system. And then also increasing the amount of divine light that is in your physical body. So the pattern that we're going to do today is an inhale. So we want to inhale the holy breath. We're going to hold it in for a moment. And what you need to do is think to yourself, assimilate. So as you're holding it in, you're thinking of and intending the assimilation of that prana, that life force energy, into every cell of your being. And then as you exhale, think to yourself, expand, and visualize that life force energy expanding, not just in your own being, but, in your space. And then holding the breath in the very end, just for a moment, is what your intention there is to project. And so another way to think about, our purpose here on earth, to bring the light, to project the kingdom of heaven out into the world, you can use the breath to do this, right? We're breathing in, inhaling the divine light. We're going to hold it to assimilate it into our own bodies first. And then exhale, we're expanding. The oxygen molecules have been corrupted, right? We know that from pollution, and there's a lot of things attached to the oxygen molecules that we need that are unwanted. And so when we set this intention and when we use this exercise, we are it's like a filter process. So we're bringing in the light of God. We're bringing in that pure source oxygen that is not contaminated, assimilating it, and then expanding it so that when we project it out into the world, it's like more clean oxygen is out there, right? We are helping with this exercise to increase the amount of pure source oxygen available to everyone and making more divine perfection available to everyone. So I hope that makes sense. But if you think about, your job on earth is we're here to love, right? And we're here to create heaven on earth with that love. And the breath is just another way that we can do that. And especially setting the intention, as you do this exercise, that you're only breathing in the purest, God source oxygen. So then that way, as we expand it, then it has an effect on our immediate surroundings and just the whole ecosystem. So that's just some information for you to visualize as we do it. If the breathing and just, getting the words is a lot for your brain at first, that's great. Just focus on, the inhale, the assimilation, the expansion, and the projection, and just setting that intention in the beginning that it's only the purest God source oxygen is all you need to do. And then as you practice this is really a great daily practice. Like I said, strengthening your respiratory system won't go amiss. Plus, there's lots of body, mind, spirit benefits from this exercise. So if you do this daily, then you'll be able to kind of visualize and experience, this kind of filtering process, this kind of expansion of the purity and the projection of that pure source oxygen. So keep practicing. You can use the recording of this video to practice again. And it's pretty simple. If you just remember these 4 things, then you can, set a timer for 10 minutes and just do it for 10 minutes. And one more thing I'll say, sometimes when you do these breathing exercises, you might start to feel a little lightheaded. So, of course, follow your instinct. If the holding it in or holding it out makes you feel weird, just make that a little bit shorter. If it really helps me to really exhale fully. And so my exhale is usually the longest part of this process. And then the hold out for me is usually pretty short. I kind of hold in for different amounts of time, just feeling it assimilate, and then I'll feel when it's time to go ahead and exhale. But we're going to practice this together. We're going to do it first with just the breath, and then I'm going to give you some in ballet we call it port-de-bras, but some arm movements just to kind of add to. It'll be a little bit, kind of a little Tai Chi feel for moving the energy and for making it complete for a whole mind, body, spirit experience. So let's just begin first. I'll say it a few times, and then I'm just gonna watch the time, and we'll do it for a few more minutes. Everybody on their own, just doing the inhale, holding the breath in, but assimilating, thinking to yourself about assimilating, and then exhaling to expand, and then holding it out for just a moment. So I'll go through it, talking you through the process a few more times, and then I'll let you just do it on your own for a few more rounds, and then we'll add the arm movements. So just intending to inhale the pure prana, pure God source oxygen, holding it in for as long as feels comfortable. And then on the exhale, let it expand. See it expand. And just hold it out for a moment, just to project it out into the world before you begin the process again. Inhaling fully. Feel the belly expand as you inhale, holding it for just a moment, feeling it assimilate in the body. Exhaling to expand. And then holding out for just a moment and projecting out into the world. Full deep inhale. Hold and notice how it feels as you assimilate this pure source oxygen. Let it expand on the exhale. And then hold it out just for a moment, projecting. So inhaling, assimilating, expanding as you exhale, and projecting as you hold it out. So I'll let you do it a few times on your own, at your own pace. You might begin to feel energy move. You might feel tingles in your hands and feet or somewhere else in the body. Whatever you feel, just notice. So I'm going to let you do one more minute of these 4 steps, and then we'll add a little something. All right, so if you'll just open your eyes for a few minutes, you know what, I'll open the floor too. If anybody has any comments or questions about just that breathing part of it, I'll take questions, and if we don't have any, then I'll go ahead and move into the arm movements. So this is just a way to, well, it serves a lot of purposes, but some of the big ones are moving the energy and kind of assisting the energy as it moves. And then also, as you get your body involved, especially if you're a kinesthetic learner, this can be a better way to kind of remember the process and kind of really get it into your muscle memory. So you can really kind of vary this as much as you want, but for the inhale, you just want to kind of scoop. It's like a gathering, right, of energy. And I go down first, life force energy from Mother Earth, and then Father Sky, and then bring it down. So the inhale is just kind of a scooping from down below, up high, and then holding the breath and assimilating. So this little part is just kind of from the head to the heart space of assimilating. So inhaling the arms, and then assimilating as you hold your breath here. And then once you get to the heart chakra, exhale, expand. And then I like to just project. So when I'm holding, it's hard to see because I'm not, I'll inhale, hold the breath and assimilate, feel it in the body, feel it in the body, exhale, expand, and then once you're done with your exhale, there's like a projection, and you're holding the breath there. So it's just kind of 4 steps, scooping and inhaling, bringing in that life force energy, holding the breath. And you might go down further and expand out from the solar plexus, whatever feels right to you, and then project. So inhale. So y'all can just go ahead and join me, holding the breath, assimilating, and then expanding, fully exhaling, and then holding it for just a moment of projecting it out, sending it out into the world. So we'll just do a few more rounds of this just so you can get it into your muscle memory. Inhaling, assimilating, feel it in the body, feel how it moves. Exhaling as you expand, and then boom, projecting. And still thinking those words to yourself. Inhale the pure source energy of God, assimilating, expanding, and projecting it out wherever it needs to go. So just a couple more rounds. And finish the round you're on. And then just return your breathing back to normal. You can keep your eyes closed. And just notice what you notice about the energy moving through your body as you just breathe normally. Paying attention to how the body feels. The physical body, the energy body, the space around your body. Your energy body extends out past your physical body. So feel into the space around you. Notice how this exercise has moved things around. Maybe made things move a little more. And so in this place of hyper awareness of how the body feels, how the energy body feels, in a place where you've really purified, bringing in this pure source oxygen, this pure divine energy, helps us to kind of lift the veil and connect with divine wisdom even in an even better way. So just open to receive now, in this state of hyper awareness, open to receive any information about things you need to let go, or maybe things you need to move toward. Just asking to be shown whatever it is that you're needing to hear or to know. So one more ask for whatever it is that you need to be shown. It might be shown to you through a physical sensation. It might be shown to you through your inner eye, your third eye, through your inner ear. It might be shown to you through taste or smell. Divine wisdom will come through any way it can. It'll find that crack of least resistance. And usually it uses our 5 senses or our 5 inner senses. It might come through feelings and emotions. So whenever you're ready, I'll invite you to write down any information that you received or even just any experiences through the pranayama that we did, what it was like, what was hard, what was easy, whatever you feel like you need to remember. Go ahead and make note. And then another way to ground these experiences by sharing out loud. So if anybody has anything they want to share out loud or questions that they want to ask. Oh, and I see Brandy wrote, let's see, drastic over the last few days. Yes, the full moon was quite intense. Okay, so you've hit a brick wall after brick wall. Yeah. All I'm getting on that is just kind of what we already talked about how the old ways aren't working. And even if you think about that analogy of hitting a brick wall, think about we all kind of have an idea of like, how do you get around a brick wall? Well, you can try to find the end and walk around it, or you could try to climb over it, right? Or you could try, there's different, 3 Little Pigs, they try to blow it down, right? There's like all these kind of old paradigm ways that we say, all right, if you hit a brick wall, this is what you do. And what's coming to me now about that is that now it's time to do things like dissolve the brick wall. Maybe you have an energetic wrecking ball you want to bring in or something like that, but understanding that the brick wall is an illusion, really, is the new paradigm way of going about this.
That's funny that you said that, because I typed that comment before we started the breathing. And like right after we finished, literally that word came into my head, like, you just dissolve it. You don't anything with it. But I wanted to say that I had to stop after a little bit of the breathing while y'all kept going, because I had to stretch. Like, my body was like, you need to stretch. So I just had to start stretching it out.
Nice.
Like, it was weird.
Yeah. And so the different sensations that we have when we do these exercises are, sometimes we can say, oh, that's, my heart chakra needing to blah, 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 and we can give it kind of a meaning or whatever. And sometimes it's just, I just need to stretch. And I'm guessing that, part of that is just that expanded life force energy that you were bringing in showed you all the places that you were tight. It's like this contrast, right? Of like, here's that expanded life force energy coming into the density of your body, which then shows that contrast of like, oh, I'm tight here. Oh, I'm tight here. Oh, I need to stretch that out. So it can be really interesting how these things show up.
Yeah, right before that, my ears started popping. And then I had to stretch.
Interesting. Yeah. So there's such a variety of ways that these exercises will, kind of physically manifest. So thanks for sharing that, because I've had that before. I had forgotten about the ear popping thing, as I was doing pranayama. But I've had that before, in yoga class years ago. And it's like, okay, what's going on? I'm not on an airplane. I'm not climbing a mountain. What's happening? But it's just a release, right? It's just energy moving. All right. Well, let's move to our energy psychology, limit clearing processes. So this is the statement that I have muscle tested that we needed to do today. You're welcome to make adjustments if you feel like. Sometimes it's good to just start with the statement as written. If you can muscle test, a lot of times I'll muscle test, and I did this when I was going through the numbers. This was number 57 on the list that I was guided to. And once I come to 57, I'll ask, we need to do this statement exactly as written. And I got a strong on that one, that I didn't need to alter it. But personally, you might muscle test and find, oh, I need to change the word from intuitive knowing to, divine knowing or divine wisdom I experience, or something like that. And if you can't muscle test beforehand, or if your muscle test, that you need to change the words, but you're not sure what to change it to, a lot of times it's good to just start with the statement as written. And as you do the balance, it will kind of come to you, like the word. Maybe you just need to add a word, maybe there's something you need to replace, but there's lots of different ways that you can kind of arrive at the most appropriate statement. And one of the kind of easiest ways for newcomers that aren't familiar with muscle testing is just to do the statement as written and then see how it morphs as you do the balance, as you do the limit clearing process. So I will invite you to be open to whatever changes might come for this statement, or modifications might come. I like pay attention better than listen or hear the insights, or using like the word see. I see clear insights, just because paying attention kind of encompasses all of the ways that we receive information, knowing that it can come through all 5 physical senses, all 5 mirrored inner senses, our inner seeing, our inner hearing, our inner feeling. And then of course, emotions are always a good way to receive information and to get some more clear insights on what it is that maybe you need to balance next, or what it is that you're needing to release. All right. So we're going to pay attention to the clear insights and intuitive knowing that we experience. And the most appropriate way for Circle to clear these limits today is to use a seated twist is strong. There's another limit clearing process that would be more appropriate for circle today, and that's testing week. So we'll just do a simple, you can do a seated twist. So sometimes I'll say you can do the twist lying down, but it's muscle testing week. So it sounds like we need to all be sitting up, and let me just ask a standing twist. Yeah, everybody's going to do a seated twist for this one instead of having options. All right, so this is one that we've done a lot in circle. You can sit on the floor with your legs crossed, or you can sit in a chair, and you just cross your ankles. We'll cross them both ways because we'll be doing it on both sides. But you know, if it feels good to cross them like this when you go into your twist, you can do it that way. Lots of options. But if you're sitting on the floor, you can just do easy pose. You can also, you know, do the kind where one leg is out and then you cross over and you twist like this. That one's testing is okay. All right, so that's the basic movement that you're going to be doing. But we start out with either feet flat on the floor, or you can have your soles of your feet together in cobbler's pose if you'd like. And you just want to come to this centered neutral position and say the statement a few times here in the center before you go into the twist. And then once we go into the twist, we'll say the statement 3 times out loud and 3 times silently on one side, 3 times out loud and 3 times silently on the other side. And remember that when you're twisting, use your eyes too. Neck, everything is twisting, and eyes are even going as far as they can into the twist on each side. All right, so come into your neutral position, legs uncrossed. Feet can be on the floor, or soles of the feet can be facing each other. I'm going to extend my legs out straight. And so just sitting really tall with a long spine and breathing normally as you say the statement to yourself silently. And then if you want to say it out loud a few times here, that's perfectly fine. I'll say it out loud while you say it silently. I pay attention to the clear insights and intuitive knowing I experience. I pay attention to the clear insights and intuitive knowing that I experience. So finish your exhale and then inhale before you say the statement again, even if you're saying it silently. I pay attention to the clear insights and intuitive knowing that I experience. One more time. Finish the exhale before you inhale again. I pay attention to the clear insights and intuitive knowing that I experience. All right, so get ready for your twist. Doesn't matter which one you start with. Just twist put one leg in front or on top of the other, and then whichever leg is on front or on top or in front is the way you're going to turn. So you can use that leg as a little bit of leverage just to get a good twist, but don't push it. You're just going to find your limit. Inhale tall, exhale all the way into the twist, and once your eyes are all the way as far as they can go, say the statement out loud 3 times with the breath. Inhale. I pay attention to the clear insights and intuitive knowing I experience. Finish the exhale. I pay attention to the clear insights and intuitive knowing I experience. Big inhale. I pay attention to the clear insights and intuitive knowing I experience. So now same thing silently. You can close your eyes if you want, but still with the breath. Inhaling before you say the statement silently. So 3 times minimum. silently. You can do it another time if you feel called to do so. And then coming back to center. And then we'll switch to the other side. So again, lengthen the spine tall before you twist. Find the limit. It might be different on each side, and that's okay. Just find your physical limit and breathe into the edge of that. Inhale. I pay attention to the clear insights and intuitive knowing I experience. I pay attention to the clear insights and intuitive knowing I experience. I pay attention to the clear insights and intuitive knowing I experience. So now silently, but still with the breath. Good inhale before you say it each time. So when you're finished with your 3 times out loud and 3 times silently on that side, come back to center. You want to face the palms toward each other, either in prayer position or with fingertips together, whichever feels more comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and put my soles of my feet together. If you're sitting in a chair, it's good to put the soles of the feet together too. So we're just going to integrate this belief as you continue to say it silently. You can add some out loud if you want to, but always with the breath. Inhale, say the statement, finish the exhale. Just noticing what you notice about how the body feels, how the emotions feel. So whenever you feel like you're ready, you probably are. And we'll muscle test just to make sure. And you can always go back and, if at muscle test week that you're not finished with this limit clearing process, you can just always go back and usually just come to this integration part of it and do that a little bit longer, and then you'll probably be done. You might need to go back and do 10 times on each side, possibly. It's a definite possibility. So those are just 2 ways that you can kind of make sure that you totally cleared it. I'll muscle test for the whole group. So if everybody will just say the statement out loud, I'll just muscle test and make sure that we're strong. And yeah, everybody's testing strong. Yes. So we're going to celebrate the change. Always paying attention to those insights and that intuitive wisdom. Hooray, hooray. So happy dance. We'll do a group hug. Let's do a group hug. We haven't done that in a long time. So does anybody have anything they want to share about the process or questions that you want to ask before we close our circle?
I was experiencing lots of energy in my hands in the twisting, and then at the end also of the of the balance. But I started noticing sometimes when I do the level up balances and I integrate changes, when I do some kind of balances, especially the balancing balance, I think it's called, the one that you hold the knee and you turn, I feel a lot of energy in my hands, and it's like, and it takes sometimes also the whole arm.
Well, so the hand thing is really, really, really common. One reason is because our hands are so sensitive, but it's also the way that we do our work in the world, right? And as we're bringing in that divine light and then we're sending it out into the world, it does go through literally our arms out to our hands when whether we're, doing healing work and, maybe you're sending energy, healing energy with your hands on purpose, or it's just, sometimes it's spontaneous. Where you'll notice, and that was the first thing that my husband began to notice when he finally had to admit that he's a healer too, is he would just feel the energy move just randomly, spontaneously, and sometimes there wasn't anybody around. He was just like at a red light and he's like, okay, well, it's supposed to, like, the energy's going to like over that hill, maybe there's some kind of problem happening, and it just was. But the hands are a huge place for us to feel energy moving, and also feeling, you can feel it a lot of times as you intentionally send it. So we'll practice that with our closing the circle ritual. All right. So if you're doing the replay, you can still join us because we have been creating this circle and enriching this circle and strengthening this circle for years now. And what we do is we pretend that we're all sitting in a circle together, and we put our hands, our palms to face each other. So you can put your hands out if you want to send and receive the energy. But follow your guidance. Sometimes I feel like I need to move my hands around as I'm doing it, and there's no wrong way to do this. So even if you don't put your hands up, just set the intention to send the energy out from your heart space, and then we'll switch gears and we'll receive energy. So I want to start with just the energy of gratitude. So energy has different flavors, different qualities, and if we send out that energy of gratitude into the circle, out to our brothers and sisters in circle, whether they're watching the replay or they're here live or they're somewhere else, just notice how that feels. You might feel it in your hands. You might feel it somewhere else. You might feel it outside of your physical body. So just send that energy of gratitude for this time, this space, this technology, this quiet time. Maybe you've got a babysitter so that you could do this. Whatever had to happen and align in order to do this self-care. Feel that gratitude. Feel the gratitude for all of our brothers and sisters in circle and in the family of humanity that are adding to the world, adding to the light of the world, and enabled us to make the transition through that Lion's Gate recently that we talked about at the beginning. We're all in this together. And so let's switch gears now and open to receive. So we sent energy first, that's the masculine energy, and then now we're opening to receive, that's the feminine energy. Feel that gratitude come to you because you are a part. You're a part of the circle. You're a part of what makes the circle wonderful. You're a part of what makes this world wonderful. Soak up that gratitude because some of it is for you. So lovely. And so usually we do three different flavors of energy. And the second one that I want to do today is that energy we talked about of letting go of the old ways of doing things and opening to the new ways. So sometimes I call it the new blueprint, the divine blueprint, the divine patterns of perfection. Send the energy out into the circle. Even if you can't see the divine patterns of perfection or know exactly how they're going to manifest, just send out that knowing that anything is possible. All of the new ways that we're creating now, that we're discovering now, that we're just now beginning to use in a habitual way, they are real. That feels good. To me, it feels like certainty that the new earth and heaven on earth is materializing. So just sending out that knowing that the new ways have arrived and that we will discover them as we need to. We don't have to know exactly how it's going to happen. We don't have to see every page of the blueprint right this moment. We know that the blueprint is written and that we can discover how to apply it to our lives. And so just switch gears now to receive that energy, so it can clear away any doubts that you might have had, any questions that you have about the new divine blueprint and the new paradigm and the new way of doing things moving forward. Just receive that knowing that it's all coming in divine timing. It's here for you now. And all will be revealed as in whatever order you need it to be revealed for your life and your work here on the planet. All right, and that third flavor of energy, let's send out that energy of unconditional love, non-judgment, loving everything and everyone just as it is right now. Even those people that are still trying to use the old blueprints, we're going to love them just as they are. One of my teachers calls it loving life free. So as we send that unconditional love, it sends freedom out to the world, out to our brothers and sisters, out to all life on earth. When there's no judgment, then the freedom can exist. So expansive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now just switch gears to receive that energy of unconditional love. We haven't received it from very many of our human friends because not very many are able to really send that unconditional love. But now you can absorb it. It's out there in the ethers. Divine love has helped us with this process of filling our atmosphere with unconditional love. So soak up your share of that. Some of it belongs to you. The judgment is gone. We have no more need for this judgment. Let that unconditional love fill you up so you can continue to give it to yourself, like that well or that spring that's inside you, that's always that fountain inside you, always giving unconditional love to yourself and to anyone else that you want to intend it out there for. So if you want to use your arms and just scoop up a part of this energy from circle and bring it into your heart space. This is our group hug at the end. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody participating in this sacred practice. All of the practices that we share together. Thank you all for being a part, being here today. either live or on the replay. Feels so nice. Anybody have anything they want to share before we say goodbye? I mean, all the different feelings of all those different flavors of energy for me were each one was very specific, and I won't spend a whole lot of time describing it, but I hope you guys were able to feel at least a smidge of energy moving, and hopefully a lot more than that. The more you practice this, the more you will feel it. I promise. You just have to keep showing up, keep intentionally moving that energy. You know, Reiki class is a really good class to, go to practice moving energy and experiencing how it feels to channel this divine life force in a more intentional way, right? It's always there with us as long as we're alive. But we can intentionally bring it in more strongly, focus it, and then send it out into the world or to a person directly if there's somebody that we want to assist individually. And you can do it close by or at a distance. It works either way. So thanks, y'all, for practicing with me. It's so good to see all your faces up there at the top of my screen. And thank you for those that are watching the replay. If you want to join us live, you can send me an email and I'll get you set up. So I'll go ahead and sign off. We'll see y'all next time. Mwah! So much love. Many, many blessings. Love you guys.